It's only us! Now, I gotta read something to you guys because I had the entire Aegis legislation translated into layman's terms. All right? I paid an attorney a month ago to translate everything that's in that document, all that fucking lawyer bullshit, into actual, words that we can understand. So I'm gonna read it to you real quick.
Okay.
A board called Aegis has been created and authorized by the Senate. This board will be classed as a public benefit corporation. The board has authorization to exist for either 6 months or until its debts, liabilities, and obligations have been met. This has no definitive timetable or end date. Only when those conditions are met will Aegis return to the control of the state. This board will have 3 members as well as a chairman. The chairman handles all executive power and has unilateral control over the organization. The board members will have a voting interest. The chairman and the board members will be appointed. My bad, I had to do a little coke. Will be appointed by by the mayor, Lang Buddha in quotations, with informed consent from the Senate. This is a permanent appointment until the conditions above are met. This board will create task forces such as Storefront Guideline Enforcement Task Force, which will comprise of the hand-selected civilians and or current or former members of law enforcement. These task forces will enforce civil law and regulation. They will not be able to lay criminal charges, and if criminal matters are found, they are to be referred to the UPD. Civil law and regulation in this instance means anything under means anything under this legislation, not in the penal code charges. This body can sue individuals, and individuals can sue this body. This body is able to obtain property through purchase, sale, or otherwise acquire it. This is vague, but opens the door to things such as eminent domain, government claiming seizure of property.
They've already bought something.
What'd they buy?
Well, Tim Collins, who is the chairman and the legal representative for Cerberus for fucking ever, now owns 3 rooms or a floor within FIB.
Well, I heard FIB's dead. I saw a bench guy wearing a PBSO uniform.
Huh.
True.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Aegis owns the building.
It is allowed to make its own rules for how it operates within the powers vested in it, which means it can literally, this thing can literally change however it wants, and there's nothing that can really stop it. Okay, so that part's important. It has power to do all things necessary or convenient. So then this circles back to where it says it's supposed to give things to the PD. It doesn't have to. Carry out these powers, this is not a guarantee for immunity. If they break the law, they can still be charged. So, I mean, technically, if these guys break the law, we can hit them, which we should be, like, once these people start operating. And first off, I don't know what the colonel, one of our highest ranking members, is doing allying himself with what is essentially a mercenary band. You know what? He's a lot like Griffith from fucking in the Band of the Hawk. You guys familiar with Berserk? That's our colonel.
Nope.
No.
Okay, all right.
The final points are more relevant to what you've just said, though.
Well, go ahead. I have a lot here. I should probably send this over to you as well, Walker, because this is kind of, you strike me as a smart guy and everything, but I already paid somebody to translate everything for us.
I know a little bit of politics, so I kind of understood some of what was going on, but the
I understood
ninth
a
clause...
decent amount of it, but not all of it. Well, here, let me finish my way through with them because I have everything.
All right.
Everything summarized. Let me see. Power to do all things necessary or convenient to carry out these powers. This is not a guarantee of immunity. If they break the law, they can be charged. It has the ability to use agents, employees, and facilities belonging to the state. That means us. This is vague, and its legal extent has not been explored. It is allowed to hire individuals and directly set their wages. These individuals will carry the authority to enforce civil laws and fine site violators of civil law on behalf of Aegis. It can enter into contracts, agreements with other organizations. It can issue bonds to finance its projects. These bonds are not a debt of the state. and the state is not liable for them. But this is important. There is no bound on how long or often these bonds can be issued for, since one of the conditions is until its debts, liabilities, and obligations have been met.
Exactly.
This essentially grants the organization no end date. So it's like kind of a work around their own system. And then the last part is legal challenges can be raised against its authority, but with Senate backing, they are likely to fail. So essentially, these guys, this is like an organization that has the backing of the Senate that we couldn't stop even if we wanted to.
Oh my god.
But then we find out that Bass is a board member of this. Look, I've seen Bass do a lot of stupid things, but this has to be the stupidest thing. This is something that I should have been doing when I was Cerberus Police Department. It should be me.
This is the things that I was scared of when it came to CPD.
Yeah.
You missed on the 9th clause, nor should they be payable. So my understanding of the 9th bit is, if we even find out that any of these 9 clauses are illegal and we charge them for it, that clause gets removed, but the rest of it's still allowed to operate. So we can't even fucking shut the whole thing down.
And then it can always just change itself because it has the ability to alter itself however it deems necessary.
Yeah.
And
So
where
we
does
just
its
remake the
jurisdiction
clause.
end and ours begin? Right? Like, what stops Aegis personnel from going around to anything, really? Like, what if they can operate how they deem necessary and fit, and it says, the things kind of contradict themselves a little bit. It says that, they have to pass thing to officers, but if they hire officers in their ranks, they don't have to pass shit to officers, right? Because that's one of the things they plan on doing, too, is hiring. It literally said in the clause, if I remember correctly, hiring ex and current police personnel. It's like they don't, like a lot of, so it's like they don't need to make us aware of anything if they have their own police officers, equipped and shit like that.
What do you say we try and become one of those officers?
Well, I don't think I have a chance. The mayor doesn't trust me.
Ooh.
But Peach, on the other hand,